Hello, eRank. Welcome to another Thursday live Q&A with me, Pam Duffy, and him, Anthony. Stella's off doing exciting things, so you're just stuck with a pair of us today.
Yeah. Have to suffer. Hey, everyone.
I'm sure
nice
they're
Friday.
delighted to see you again. It's always cool when we've got Anthony.
All right.
So everyone, get in your questions, and I think it'll mainly be YouTube chat because I've been getting notifications that Facebook's being a nightmare just now. So.
Okay. All right. Yeah, get those questions in. We're here for an hour to help you. So whatever's on your chest, we'll do our best to help.
And it's a good day to get it when we've got an Anthony. And we do have a couple of questions from the early bird post on Facebook. If we've got nothing special to share, then we could start with them, and then everyone get your comments, your questions in at the chat, and we'll get to them once we're done.
All right.
Sound like a plan?
Sounds good. Oh, we've got Charles from Ghana. Hello.
Oh, awesome. Yeah, well, it looks like we've got quite a lot of chat going on already.
Up there on the map, I believe.
Not bad. It's not easy to point behind you in a camera.
No,
I've had to do that before.
I see it in reverse. I don't know how you see it, but yeah. So that's cool.
It was still kind of working. Right.
I've got a couple from Northern California.
Awesome. Yeah, where are you all from? Let's. Yeah, that's cool. Right. So from the Facebook group, from Danielle, we asked this. Yeah, this could be some interesting to show off the new update to the Keyword Explorer we talked about. But saying, in the Keyword Explorer or Keyword Tool, is there a way to use the asterisk symbol to see a wildcard list of words that are searched before a specific long-tail keyword or phrase? Examples would be star gift for kids, star gift, or star birthday party.
No, we don't have a wildcard functionality as such. But if you were to use exact match, it will give you a gift for kids, something or other, gift for kids. So that would be an option. If you like, I'll set up my screen, and you can talk amongst yourselves while I'm doing this. It'll take me just a minute, and we will show you exactly, because sometimes it's very hard to fathom what I ramble on about.
Not at all, but it's a cool excuse to show the changes to the tool.
Exactly, yeah. All right, let's share that.
And let's see if I can set it up all right. Let's try it. Oh, not like that.
There we go. Okay. All right. So what was the example again? Oh, gift for.
Yeah, gifts for kids.
Gifts for kids. I'm popping into the Keyword Explorer like so. And takes a minute to fetch some keywords. Okay, so by default, we have phrase match turned on. So that will essentially bring back results which contain those words, gift for kids, but in a fairly loose sort of order. So there could be words in between it. Could be gifts for summertime for kids' entertainment, for example, something like that. But if we go to exact match, which I just clicked on there, that will mean that it will have to have that phrase exactly as you typed it in somewhere in there. So it's gift for kids, obviously, personalized gift for kids, Easter gift for kids, Valentine's, and so forth, like that. So you've got down here, gift for kids, boy, EID, gift for kids, so forth. So that's probably the closest we can give you there. Let me know if that's suitable. Perhaps you weren't familiar with the exact match. I think it's kind of neat to have that wildcard option. I'll look at that and see what our schedule looks like to see if it's something we can squeeze in. I can't promise anything at this stage because we're still doing a whole bunch of work on other things for the Keyword Explorer and the Keyword Tool, which was kind of hoping to show this week, but I think we need another week to polish it off. But we are merging the keyword tool and the keyword explorer, and I think what you will see you'll like a lot. That's my hope. All right.
Awesome. Oh, let's do that. Yeah, so hopefully that helps. And we do have, there's a video on this YouTube channel, and I think this week Starla just did a video on this new keyword explorer features. If anyone wants to see more into that, it's worth having a look at. Because yeah, it certainly, hopefully, it's not quite the wild card, but it definitely can do some of the similar things to help, hopefully. Right, and the only other question we had over on Facebook, and if I didn't say, if you're not in our Facebook group, there should be a link in the description of this video below, and then every Wednesday I post up a thread where you can ask your questions in advance. That makes sure we get to them if we're particularly busy any week. But so we had 2 questions, and the second's from Sam asking, is any of the keyword data current or limited to the previous month? Is there a tool for real-time stats? And they're saying, I get a lot out of eRank and the historical trends are invaluable. Just wondering if there's any way of getting hot trends in a more timely fashion. I searched iPhone 15 last night and it shows no searches on eRank when it should be pretty hot right now for the phone cases. And thanks for all you do, which awesome. Thank you.
Okay, so short answer is we don't have real-time data. We get our data from our data providers each evening. So we update TrendBuzz on a daily basis. So that's as close to real-time as you will get. So that will be useful. I'm actually going to test out a theory because there is a part of the keyword tool and the keyword explorer which tells you when something is hot. So let me, I'm going to share my screen again.
Yep, I've still got you there.
You do? Okay. So this time I'm going to search for iPhone 15. Let's see what comes up here. Okay, so we're already getting Etsy competition. That is in real time. So we are getting that directly from Etsy. So that's kind of neat. But the search volumes, no, we're not seeing a huge amount in there. Audrey wow, yeah, that's, yeah. Okay, so short answer is no, we don't have anything in there. Let's pop into TrendBuzz, see if we've got something there. In Etsy, so I'm just going to do a search for iPhone. No, so we don't have anything in there either. No, so so yeah, short answer is nothing on iPhone 15. I will see what we can do to move forward a feature that we're working on, which is like it's a search prediction. So what we will be doing is looking at, say, we're halfway through September pretty much. So we've got enough data now to say, right, based on what we're seeing, and maybe some historical from the previous year, we can say, well, we think we're going to see this much search volume for a specific keyword. So I'll look at that. That's a really good example for our developers to dive into. I suspect it's probably going to be more searched on Amazon than on Etsy, just because Amazon's the place for gadgetry. But yeah, let's see. I'll run that by the developers, see if we can kick that along a little bit there.
Cool. Yeah, nice example. But yeah, my thought is possibly we don't have that many people searching on Etsy yet for it, but they're probably just about to.
Hey, I actually switched to Amazon. If you want to share my screen again.
Yeah.
Then.
I wish it would remember the setup I had a minute ago when I share it again.
Okay, so I just did a search. I just switched from Etsy to Amazon just through the menu here. So you can see iPhone 15. We are seeing some search volume and is starting to spike here. So that's typical for those sort of products. Case on the other hand may be a little different. Okay, so it looks like we had some early looky-loos here. Wonder why. Yeah. Okay, so that's what I did. I just basically went to the drop-down menu and selected Amazon or Etsy, depending on what you're looking for later. And that's it.
Cool. That's really strange. I don't know if I'm weird, but when I'm buying a phone, I'm buying the case at the same time as I'm buying the phone.
So am I, yeah. I suspect that Etsy or people shopping on Etsy take a little bit longer before they start looking on Etsy for these sort of products.
Yeah, but even Amazon's low looking just now. So, well, I suppose September, it might be picking up. Yeah.
Yeah. When is the release date? I'm not an iPhone user. All right, let's move on.
But that's probably a good example, if that's your niche, of tentpole things that you know about are going to be happening and getting in before everybody else has even realized there's a demand, kind of thing.
Yeah.
Sometimes knowing about your niche is a good thing.
Yeah.
Right. So thank you for the Facebook questions, guys. Now we're on to mainly YouTube, I think. I don't know if Facebook's working for the live. But right. So we have Christine. What social media platforms would you suggest a technologically challenged Etsy seller start first on, and why? I do have a Facebook business page started. I want someplace where I can start gathering emails.
Ooh, I'll leave that one for you, Pam. I'm going to search by another social media guy. Anyone that tries to message me on Facebook will vouch for that. I sometimes respond 3 months or later to messages. That's how active I am.
Oh, wow. Yep. But I'd say if you're on Facebook and you've started a Facebook business place, that's the place to start just now, is the one that you understand. If you're on Facebook, you know what kind of posts you respond to, what kind of things you see there. It's much easier to start on the platform you understand. Although somewhere you can start gathering emails, you can't really... You can do that on social media, but that involves building an audience and then asking them to follow you on your email. So that's a different thing. I'm not an expert on email lists. That's mainly Starla's thing, but I've definitely used MailChimp, and it seems to be pretty simple for gathering emails. But check into the Can Spam Act and GDPR. Check into the laws on how you can gather emails, which is basically people have to opt in and have to be able to request they opt out and delete all your information. MailChimp's fairly good for that. I think there's begins with an A. I can't remember. There's an integration with Etsy for an email one as well. I haven't looked into it yet, though.
No. Yeah.
So yeah, we're the worst two to ask about that.
Where's Starla today?
I know. The one day we need our drat. So Jack's asked, in the listing tag analysis table, if the exact keywords in the column tags, title, and description match, then eRank shows a good grade for the listing. How about using different keywords in each one? In each column, I guess. Yeah.
I'm not quite following there.
I think, let us know if we're wrong. I think it might be saying if you had one keyword in the tag section, one keyword in titles and
like
one keyword in... Yeah, I think. What would that do?
Yeah, you know what? I think I need to take this one away and think about this a little more. I think the intent here is to give you a sense of whether you're following Etsy's best practices. And I think if I understand what you're saying here, Jack, you've spread those words so there's not a lot of repetition between the title and tag and descriptions, which is kind of okay. I just don't know whether it's something I change in the listing audit. I need to think about that a little bit more. Jack, do you mind emailing us with a little bit more information, and we'll take a look at that closer, because I'm probably not quite understanding what you want here, and I think a little bit more detail will help us figure out whether there's something we could do better for people, or yeah, well, we'll see. So support@erank.com. Send a note there and just mark it to my attention, Anthony, and I'll take a closer look at that. And if you can provide any examples or screenshots of what you're looking for here, I'll see what I can do.
Yep, absolutely. I just want to say for everybody, though, with the listing audits, which is the tool we're talking about here, your grade, don't worry about getting A grades. If your listing's working, then you don't need to worry too much about the grade. That's there to help you to spot if there's listings that maybe have some easy fixes that you could make, but that's all it really is. So if your listing's doing great, don't touch it, regardless of what we say just now. But yeah, it'd be fun to dig into what you mean there. Ms. Jan, missing images. My audit shows there are 10 missing images. On my listing page, have images posted, no more options available. Sounds, I assume you're saying, it's saying you have 10 missing images, but when you go into your listing page, it shows you've filled in all 10 images.
Jan, can you send us a link to that listing? Again, if you prefer, email it to support@erank.com, and we'll have a look at that. The only time I've seen this recently was for some people who had revoked eRank's access to their data. If you've done that, then you might want to reconnect your shop to eRank. If you don't know what I'm talking about, then you've obviously not done that, so that's fine. But if we can get that listing, we can take a look at that and see where the fault lies. Sounds like you've done nothing wrong. It's most likely either something that we've got wrong in our system or something that Etsy's done wrong. I just need to figure out where it is and then see if we can fix it, or if we have to send a note to Etsy to get them to fix it. So yeah, if you can get us that listing, that'd be fantastic.
Yep, absolutely. One of those bugs. Right, I'm trying to read. I can't read and talk at the same time.
Oh, that's
I'm really
fine.
bad at that. I'm just seeing tons of hellos from where everybody's from, which is awesome. We've got France, the UK, Ireland.
San
Here's
Diego.
one.
Must be Siri there. Hey, Siri. Neil from the UK, Anna from Ireland. Okay, Nina.
Yeah, Nina, is there a way just to show US search results? Oh, I'm talking well today, and eliminate other countries?
Yeah, that's by default we show US search results. So you don't need to do anything special there. There is a country dropdown. So if you find you are stuck on Canada, then you just click on the country dropdown and you switch back over to the US. I'll share my screen again, Pam, if you like. And
yep.
So that's the drop down right there. So
hang on.
There you go. You just pick the country and there we go. Okay. That's the drop down I was talking about. So you just pick the country there and there you have it, US data. So if you're stuck on Canada, for example, just switch to the US and you've got US only data there. I hope that answers your question. Nina, if it's a different section of the site, then please let me know.
But I think most of them do have a US default and a drop down for the rest of the other countries we're tracking for them. Yeah.
I think we changed the listing audit page so that you can select the country as well. So if you're in the US or in a different country, you can select accordingly there. Maybe it's a part of the site we haven't thought about.
Yeah, let us know if we've forgot something. I'm sure we have. But I think most of them defaulted to the US. It's the other countries that are added, but let us know. I'm trying to think. Oh, here we go. Jules, will you be adding Pinterest to the list of sites for the keyword search?
Hi, Jules. Yeah, I think that would be a very neat idea. I'm pretty sure we've got them in TrendBuzz, and we've got a good amount of keyword data for Pinterest. So I think it's a neat idea.
Yeah,
Yep,
that would be
let's do that.
super handy, because Pinterest is one of the few social media, well, it's not really social media, but it's a search engine, but it's a little more social and things. So
Well, it's very closely tied with Etsy, so it makes total sense to do that. Yeah.
yeah, that'd be cool. I'd like to
I
build
actually
a
think
few
we already
bits.
processed the data. I know we've got it in TrendBuzz, but for whatever reason, we didn't activate it in the Keyword Explorer.
Cool.
Hmm.
Laura, question about the profit calculator. What's the renewal window for? Isn't it the same as the listing fee? Every time you make a sale, you automatically renew pay listing fees. So for me, it's the same.
So that is there for people who like to regularly renew their listing. There is a school of thought that renewing your listing pushes it up to the search result, top of the search results. So yeah, technically you can do that. How long it stays at the top is open for debate. I don't think it's very long, especially in competitive categories. And I don't think it's a very good tactic to throw money at. We have it in there because some people have a budget for renewing their listings regularly. That's why it's there.
Yeah, it's a kind of historic thing.
Mm.
I think when I first heard about eRank many years ago, it was because you had a blog post and you'd done a little bit of research on
Yeah.
renewing and stuff. I
Oh yeah,
remember.
yeah. That's the rise and fall of Etsy rankings, and yeah, that was
Yeah,
back in the day when it was more predictable and a lot easier to manipulate. So there's a lot of old shops out there which game the system, and I think Etsy figured out, something's not quite right here, and they shut that down or made it a lot harder to
absolutely.
game the system.
Yeah, it's odd that anytime you find a loophole to try and game something, they shut it down. It's like they just want good listings to be at the front of search.
They just want to see sales occur, and those sales lead to happy buyers. So if there's anything you do that messes with that equation, they will figure it out. So if you're trying to shove an apple in front of people that are looking for oranges, okay, maybe you get to the top of page one, maybe you get a few sales, but they will eventually catch up on stuff, especially if it's irrelevant and especially if it doesn't please buyers.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yep. Oh, Tech Perch is asking, is there an anomaly? I can't do words today. In the competitor sales page, I look at my sales in comparison to other sellers, and it's showing my total number of items I've sold rather than total sales.
Total number of items rather than total sales. Well, Tech, can you send us a screenshot of that, please? What we're looking for is your shop name and the total that we're showing there. What you should be seeing is the number of sales if you were to go to Etsy and look at your shop. I'll show you exactly what I'm talking about here. Oops.
Yeah,
Sorry.
this could be a difference between sales and orders, which is quite confusing on Etsy. Do you want your screen up?
Yep, please. So I'm just going to pick on this listing here. This person could invest in an iron, but no judgment. Sorry, Henry. So the sales that you see in the competitor sales should align with this number here, always. So if you're looking at, say, the daily increases, it will be the increase in that. So if this shop had one sale yesterday, it would have gone from 13 to 14. You'll see one there for yesterday. But
yeah, I don't think your screen's showing what it's supposed to.
Oh, you know why? It's opened in a new tab. How about now?
That's better. Yeah.
Oh, I feel a bit silly now. So the total sales that you see on eRank should align with this number right here. That's the thing. So Tech, that's an interesting name. If your number is not the same as what you're seeing when you look at your shop on Etsy in that next to sales, then we've got a problem. So yeah, please send us a screenshot if you think that it's not correct, and your shop name, and we will take a look at that. And just remember, reminder, it's support@erank.com.
Yep. Etsy it's a little confusing because sales are what you see on the front page, and that's I'm going to get it wrong, but that's the individual listings. So if you have an order, someone could buy 2 different listings from your shop. That would be 1 order, but 2 sales.
Yep.
And then it gets more complicated if they can buy more than one of a single listing.
Yeah.
So
Etsy have a funny way of defining a sale. It's unusual, and I found the best way for us to compare sales is based on Etsy's definition, not our own personal definition, because that's just adding more confusion to the equation. And if you're unsure, then go back to that page that I just showed you on the screen there. Look at the number of sales there. That's what it's anchored in.
yeah, it's tricky, but whenever you're on, like, if you're in your shop dashboard or something, have a look at the actual terms. There's quite a few things that aren't necessarily what you think they might be because there's so many confusing other things like visits and views, sales and orders. They're not necessarily what you might think they would be because, yeah, all these things are confusing. So.
Yeah. Don't forget to get those questions in. We're about halfway through.
Yeah, and it's not often you've got Anthony here, right? Not a question, but Stuart, thank you. We're loving the eRank functions right now. We love into that before Etsy each morning.
Oh, thanks, Stuart. That's awesome. Thank you.
And hi, Debbie, by the way. Laura, when's the Chrome extension going to be available?
Oh gosh, I gave Pam and Starla a demo of it. What was that, about 4 weeks ago now? 3 weeks ago?
Yeah, about that.
And they gave me some really good feedback. So we're still working on that. I thought I had a build that I could get to beta testers today, but no, it's not. It's still not ready. So the rough plan is this. As soon as this version is ready for beta testers, I will send out some notes to people that have been good beta testers in the past, the ones that test something out and give us great feedback, really constructive sort of stuff. So we'll probably send that out to maybe 10 people or something like that. You will have to be slightly technical because you have to sideload the extension. We're not in the Google Play Chrome extension store yet. So it's a little tricky. But really, we want to get feedback because, we get too close to the project and sometimes we miss something that's obvious. And the thing that I missed was some of the so what stages. So you're on a specific screen and it's like, so what? You open up the extension and you look and you go, that's the so what moment. It's like, now what do you want me to do? So we need to bring that thinking load away from you and give you our suggestions based on what you're looking at. So that's a very complicated way of saying it's not quite ready yet.
It is looking really cool, but we did want to, I think myself and Styler just wanted it to be like totally cool because you don't want
it's got to be more practical than what I shared with Starla and Pam a few weeks ago.
It is very good though, but yeah.
So please be patient. It is coming.
Oh, Anna, would eRank be useful for Google keyword research for blogging? For example, most of the tools specifically for that cost a fortune.
I
I
do.
hear you.
Yeah. So I personally use SEMrush. I think it's a great tool, but holy moly, there's a lot of stuff in there, and it's pretty expensive as well. I think I pay something like $300 or $400 a month for that. So it's really good. Ahrefs, I love that too. I think some of the design that they've done is great. Great tools for Google keyword research. That's enough about them. I don't normally like to talk about alternative technologies, but I like them. So we now have Google as one of the drop-down options in the Keyword Explorer. Now, we don't have as much data as SEMrush or Ahrefs have at this stage. We've got a partial set that's really geared towards Etsy keywords. So that said, if enough people are using it and want to use it, I'm going to stick my neck out and spend a truckload of money getting the Google keyword data into our system so that you can do that. So if that's something you want, please let us know. Anna, I've made a note of your request. We can certainly look at that, but it's really expensive data. So we've got to make sure that people are going to use it. If it's just you, Anna, sorry. But if we can get enough people interested in it, then we will certainly extend the functionality of the Keyword Explorer so that you can have something that is very similar to what SEMrush and Ahrefs have.
That would be cool.
Yeah.
But I think just now it would probably be useful if you're blogging about crafty stuff or
Yep.
something. So if it's something you would be interested in, guys, and that's relevant, I would say use it, and then Anthony will see you using it and feel
Yep.
feel a bit
And
happier about it.
yeah, and as you use it, and you like it or you think it sucks or it's missing data or something like that, hit that feedback button, because once we know that people are using it and they're giving us feedback, regardless of whether it's good or bad, then we know that, hey, people are paying attention here. They expect something. They expect this. Maybe they're getting that, and we can look into it further. And I mean, it is seriously expensive data, so we have to make sure this is a wise investment for us. So, yeah, please let us know.
Yeah, but it sounds fun.
Yeah.
Oh, this is such a common type of question, but I'm not sure it's something we can help with, but we'll see what Anthony feels like. Charles is saying, my sales have declined this month. What tags work best for African clothing?
Oh, wow. Charles, that is definitely not my specialty. Um, I think that's going to be difficult. Um, what I suggest, well, a couple of things. First of all, we are in that strange period in the US. So if you're selling to Americans, right now, Etsy is in this regular seasonal decline. I posted in the Facebook group the other day a graph which shows Etsy's reach, and it's dropped quite substantially. It's not the end of the world. It comes back with a vengeance very, very soon. So first of all, keep that in mind. The sales will pick up again in the US. That's, it's a combination of factors. It's back to school. People just shipped off all the kids back to school, and that costs a lot of money to get textbooks and clothes and whatever kidlings need nowadays. That said, if you're still struggling for ideas, and this is a great time to do a bit of research, I would recommend you look for shops in your category or in your region. So how about we do this, Pam? I'm going to pop in and I'm going to show Charles how I would start. I don't know whether I'll get good results, but this is going to be real time. So we will see just how well it works. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pop into the competition top sellers. Now, for a quick test, Why is my drop down not working? Oh, there we go. I'm going to see who the top shops are in Ghana. Okay, so typically what I would do here, Charles, is I would start to look for shops that are similar to yours. So Two Lovers Fashion. Oh, that's you. Gosh. Okay. Well, you're doing pretty well. So you're ranked 9 in the country. So it looks like you got a pretty good level of sales. So that's great. If you're and because you're so high within Ghana, then perhaps you want to look at other countries. So I would probably go. No, I'll stay here. So what I'm going to be looking for are other shops that are in the clothing or in the fashion area. So what you can do, you can go into the categories and you can search for clothing like so. Well, it looks like you're nailing it. So that's great. Still, if sales are down, then they're down. But what I would recommend you do is look for other shops that have been doing reasonably well. Check out their recent sales to see whether they've done well. It can give you ideas. Now, if say, for example, this shop here is doing well, it's not doing as well as your shop. But what I would do is I would load that shop up and take a look at their listings to see if there is something that they're doing differently. I just realized I'm opening this in a new tab. There we go. That's better. So I would look at these listings and go, right. So these are the most recently updated or sold listings in that shop. I would look at some of them and go, okay, well, I make this. So I would go and have a look at that and see what tags they're using. I would have a look at the description and the title and see whether there is something that they're doing well that you can apply to your shop as well. That's typically what I would do. Now, I'm going to back to top sellers. Oh, there we are. The other option, if you want to branch outside and get more ideas from other countries outside of Ghana, then I would suggest you just go into the, I'm waiting for this to load. There we go. I would look at the clothing category in general and say, right, what can I learn from here? Now, the problem is that most of these shops are probably not going to be specializing in African clothing. So that may not work so well. You could look at other countries in the region. So you could try Nigeria to see who's doing well there. That's what I would do. It's not an easy process, but if you're looking for ideas, that's what I would do. I'd start with the shops. Start there. Try and find shops that are similar to you, either in your country, in your category, or in your region, and then go and analyze some of their listings, have a look at some of their tags, and see if there are ideas that could work for your shop. So Charles, I really hope that helps. It sucks when sales are down, but this is the right time of the year to be doing your research and figuring out what you can do now ahead of the holiday season rush.
Yeah, cool. Oof, my big face again. Hang on. Yeah, I think that was the thing that's jumped into my head, was that graph that you'd posted of how much Etsy's reach is down. So it might not be you. It could just be the time of year. So
yeah, actually, you know what? I should show that to people because it's really interesting. So I'll load it up on my screen again.
Cool.
Okay,
Yeah.
can you
get your screen up again? Yep. On it. But yeah, I wouldn't change any of your listings currently because we're just getting close to the season where it's going to start getting busy. So I'd maybe add new listings rather than fiddle with the ones that were working just a few weeks ago.
Exactly what Pam said. Yep. New stuff. Okay, so one of the tools that we've we launched last year, kind of quietly, is the sites feature. So you can go in and you can get some interesting stats about different websites. Works really well for large and popular websites. If you've got your own blog or something like that with 20 people that visit it each month, we probably don't have a lot of data for you. But I just went into site info and I typed in Etsy.com, and I'm looking up that site now to see what I can learn about Etsy. So we have, first of all, Etsy's got a great rank in the US. It's the 43rd most popular site in the US. So that's fantastic, absolutely brilliant. It has dropped down recently. So you can see just in early August, it was ranked 39. So it has dropped off. And that is the typical summertime, what's the word, doldrums, where things get quiet and not a lot is happening. So, and I say quiet, I mean, relatively quiet. Some shops are absolutely killing it right now, but you can see that when Etsy's rank drops or when their reach drops, and this is the graph that I posted in the group, the reach, when that drops, that tells you that things are slowing down. Reach, think of it like this, it's the percentage of Americans that are visiting Etsy on a daily basis. So you can see right now, a bit over 3.5% of Americans are visiting Etsy like as on the 11th of this month. 3.5% is an absolutely huge number. But relative to what it was like at the beginning of August, it's down. So you can see here from 4%. That, gosh, what are we looking at? What's the online population of the US? Anyone? 300 million, something like that. My mathematics is going to escape me, but that could be several 100,000 people that have stopped visiting Etsy over the last few weeks. They will come back, and they'll come back in droves when it gets to Christmas time. Basically, from Black Friday onwards, it is crazy, super busy. So right now, if you are one of those people that is not getting a lot of orders right now, use this time to prepare. So any of those last minute listings that you were thinking of listing, get them up now. Do your keyword research, get your photographs in order and get it listed now, rather than when you're busy trying to ship and handle orders and questions and take photographs. As mistakes happen at that point, do it now. Take advantage of the quiet time. Other things you can see in here, we currently track 7 different countries. So that's why we've only got these countries in here. This kind of represents most of Etsy's top countries. We have New Zealand in there, which isn't in the top 7, but we just happen to have data for New Zealand, so we put that in there. There are other countries like the Netherlands, India, Spain, Italy, and so forth that are, there are more people visiting Etsy in those countries than in New Zealand, but that's what we've got there. So if you're curious to know about the stats for any of those countries, that's in there. We have a visual sort of breakdown. We can tell you where people come from to visit Etsy. So search is the dominant player here. Despite what you may think about Pinterest and Facebook, search is still the main beast. That's how they get to Etsy. Social is still very significant, 7%. We have got display advertising, so that's kind of fair. You know, display advertising is very expensive, so I wouldn't be expecting Etsy to be spending hundreds of millions of dollars on advertising, so that's why that's fairly low. Direct are those people that basically use bookmarks or hyperlinks, or just basically it's a fancy technology way of saying we don't know where they came from. They just arrived there. So that's that. And referrals, they're like sites like eRank. So we would be in there. So that's where you would find eRank or some blog site.com, things like that. That's what referrals are. You can see what the most popular social media sources are. So I've forgotten the person's name from earlier who asked about social media. Pinterest is probably the place you want to be if you're interested in driving traffic into Etsy, because that's where the majority of people are coming from. YouTube, that's kind of interesting, a little complicated because you've got to get in front of the camera or have a good setup to whatever, but YouTube is very popular there. And Facebook's number 3. Reddit kind of surprises me. I think there's a very active seller community on Reddit. Yeah, I wouldn't have thought there were a lot of buyers in there, but Reddit is super popular, and Instagram. So there you go. Top referring sites. So this is basically the top 5 sites that send traffic into Etsy. The top search engines, it's usually Google and everyone else. So you can see Google is the 800-pound gorilla in here. And the top keywords. So if you're looking to see what keywords are bringing people to a specific site, this is what you see here. So this is kind of a duh. It's kind of obvious. Etsy is the the top keyword, or Etsy, or Etsy login and so forth. So that's the sites feature. So there you go. I just wanted to talk about that graph right there, and you got a whole bunch of 5 minutes of me talking about a bunch of other stuff. So there you go.
Well, nice detour in it. Oh, it helped us explain the social media question a bit more, that I think we probably should be focusing on Pinterest a bit more if we know much about it. That definitely shows that, yeah. Okay, we have a 2-part question from Michelle. Well, a long question. Oh, we just lost an Anthony. Hopefully he'll be back in a moment. Or I'll get a panicked message from him. But anyway, Michelle's saying, and the spotted on Etsy number, does the spotted on Etsy number change, update every time you refresh? I'm asking because when I check eRank, I see spotted number change. I download the info to save for future restaurant reference. I can't speak. I love capturing the search terms in case a really good one comes up that I haven't used yet. Thanks in advance. Yes and no. You're spotted on Etsy. Oh, I think Anthony's coming back. Yeah, I think he tried to come back. Right, sorry about that. Yeah, you're spotted on Etsy. The stuff that comes from the Etsy monitor, I know that is just updated once per day. In the middle of the night. So the stuff that comes from monitor is just once per day. Hopefully Anthony comes back in. The stuff, if you've connected up your Google Analytics 4, hopefully this is Anthony now, then you also get direct spotted on Etsy visits. And hi, Anthony. And perfect time to ask him if he stays here. Spotted on Etsy, not the monitor, but the Google Analytics things. How often is that updated?
That is updated roughly every 30 minutes. So if you're active and on the site and you go into traffic stats, we will update it every 30 minutes. If you're not active on the site, then we'll update it that night. And then if you log in, we'll update it again because we saw you log in. So it should be pretty current.
Awesome. Yeah, she was saying she seems to see it change every time she updates or refreshes, which kind of makes sense if you're getting lots of views, I guess.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure it's 30 minutes. I've not seen if any. Well, let me rephrase it. When I've talked to the developers, 30 minutes was the frequency.
Cool. Yeah. So that's fairly up to date then. Awesome. Yeah. What's this? Ravenator. Love the names. Looks like a dog. Awesome. Does eRank show how much a competitor is spending with Etsy?
No.
Yeah, that's private data.
Yeah,
we don't see that.
We have no idea. Don't even know how much you're spending on Etsy. Yeah. Sorry.
That's an easy one. Yeah, we don't have that data at all.
Etsy do not make that available.
Neil, hello. I'm a new user, only a couple of days on basic. Welcome. I've not fathomed everything out yet, but I have put my 5 shops in shop tracker. How do I change the shops? That would be competitor sales, I guess.
I think so. Neil, do you want to give us a little more information in terms of what you mean by how do I change the shops. Oh, I think I know what it is. That's the switching between shops. So if you're on your dashboard and you've got the stats for shop number 1 and you want to go to shop number 2, Neil, in the top right corner, there is a little avatar icon. And if you hover over that, you'll see a list of all your shops in there. And underneath current shop will be whatever shop you're seeing on your dashboard. But down there, it's got a list of the other shops that you've connected. So you can switch between each of those just by clicking on those shop names. So try that out. Please let me know if that works, or if I've completely got it wrong, let me know that as well. And we'll try and get you sorted out.
Yeah, good thinking. I hadn't thought of that. Oh, it does look like
it's hard because when you're new, you don't fully understand the terminology. So yeah, and that's normal. That's expected. That's our job to try and interpret.
Exactly. If you haven't already, there should be in the description the link to the Facebook group that you can ask us questions 24/7, or we're here every week to hopefully answer the questions. But yeah, and it does look like we have some people listening in on Facebook too, which is great.
Oh, cool. Hey.
They're happy that they didn't know we had Amazon on eRank. So yeah, there's a lot more data there just now.
Yeah. If you haven't done so, sign up to our newsletter. Just pop into the settings page down near the bottom. There's a newsletter option there. Check that, and you'll get all the latest updates from there.
Yep, absolutely. Someone's just saying they only just announced the iPhone recently, so it might be a while before we see a peak.
It's still a great example. Something that's timely like that is really good for us to test.
Absolutely, yes. They're the kind of things that I wish in my niche we had things like that you knew were coming up. But
when I was testing Amazon last month, no, the month before, I was looking for Samsung Galaxy Tab S9, which was the new model that just came out a month ago. So iPhone 15, it's great. Any other terms like that, that's great. That can help us.
Yep. People are looking forward to Pinterest Pinterest keywords and talking about Amazon keywords and everything. And so, I mean, yes, I think for the other tools that we spoke about, they are specific for Google and are going to be the things if you're really, really wanting the good data. But we do what we can just now. I'm just trying to find some questions.
So we've got a bit over 5 minutes left, so people get your questions in, and we'll do our best to get them all answered.
I'm just going to throw this one in quickly. Can we update the profit calculator so it shows the share and save scenario?
Sure, I guess. Yeah. Okay, let me think about that a little bit more, because profit calculator, as Pam will tell you, it's one of those things where it's really easy to describe the change and really hard to implement the change. So I need to talk to the developers about that a little bit more. I suspect they're going to tell me, Anthony, go away and come back and ask me in January. So, and that's just because we have gotten so busy on things like the browser extension and further enhancements to the Keyword Explorer. I'm saying I feel a bit cheeky saying this, but I think it will be something that we do next year. But it's a cool idea. Don't get me wrong. I like it when Etsy changed something and you need help wrapping your head around that change. If there's something we can do, we will certainly look into it. Oh, and if a bunch of other people ask the same question, we will bump up the priority on that.
I think I already asked a week ago.
Yes. I think I told you something else, didn't I?
Not a question, but Sigrid wants to volunteer for the Chrome extension beta test.
Cool. Well, we will let people know that the beta is ready. Sigrid, if you can send us an email, support@erank.com. Let us know you're interested. We'll add you to that list, and all things going well, you will get an email from us next week with instructions on how to install it.
Awesome. Yeah, and we got the same thing from Stuart, so same answer for
Thanks,
Stuart. We're nearly at the bottom of the questions. I'm just checking their questions. Sorry, guys. There's some wonderful chat in here. I can't actually see. Okay, this one. Okay, let's just guess that this is a good question.
Okay.
So, Soulful Flowers, a question for Anthony. I'd love to be able to see niche products better while researching, like a way to better visually see what products are selling good within a niche or keyword.
Yeah, we've been experimenting with that, and I've thrashed out a few ideas with our developer team on that. And I'm always of the thinking, how can we give you perfect data? And unfortunately, we haven't found a way to give you perfect data or 100% accurate data. But we are getting to a point where we can give you really good visual ideas of products that we know are selling very well in a category. We just can't give you with 100% confidence, these are the top 100 shirts or things like that. That sort of data, well, first of all, we would have to have every shop on Etsy using eRank to do that, and every one of those shops give us permission to use your data. And I can tell you now, no one's going to give us permission to use your data in that way. So we have to respect people's wishes and Etsy's public and private rules. So what we will have is something which, if it works as I expect it will, something that gives you a good idea of what's popular, but it won't be the top 100 products that are selling on Etsy. That's just not possible. And if anyone's claiming to do that, then they're either seriously violating Etsy's privacy laws or rules, or they're lying. So yeah.
Sounds exciting. There's always loads of stuff.
It's very cool. I saw. Well, I ran it on my computer, and it kind of worked. It was interesting. It worked, but there were a lot of gaps there. So that's it. We're just trying to narrow that down, so we get some really good results.
Cool. From Facebook, someone was asking, do we have the stats for the UK? Yep.
Yep.
And the drop down the UK.
Yeah, certainly do. So you can just pop into the Keyword Explorer or the Keyword Tool, type in gift for her, and then to the right of that, there's a little drop-down menu. It says USA by default. But if you click on that, UK is down near the bottom of the list there. Select that and click the search button, and you'll see those stats.
Yep. Not a question.
Just for those people, maybe you don't know, but the countries that we support, oh gosh, what are they again? I've got to jog my memory here. Australia, Canada, Germany, France, India, UK, and USA. We also have the European Union in there, which is basically an aggregation of the, what's EEA again? European Economic Association.
Area.
Area. It's 21, I think 21 countries in Europe. So there's an aggregation there. So if you sell exclusively to EU countries, you can get keyword data for the EU as well. Oh, thank you from New Zealand.
Yeah, I just wanted aviation, just that when you'd mentioned New Zealand was there. Right, I think we're nearly out of time, so just one more question. Okay. From Samantha, just asking, is there a way to see how many shops there are in the UK or in any country?
There used to be. I mean, it's not perfect. We don't have all the shops in the database because they're coming up all the time and they're disappearing all the time. Let me check.
But yeah, it's a cool question, and I'm sitting here going, I'm not sure.
I don't know when this was updated, but according to what I'm seeing here, we have, my best guess would be about 530,000 active shops in the UK.
Cool. Good to know. Right. I think we've roughly got to the bottom of the questions.
Cool. All right.
Yeah, guys, thank you all so much. And Anthony, thank you for that. That's awesome.
Yeah.
And
No
yeah.
Thanks everyone for tuning in.
Yeah. We'll see
I'll
you
hop into
next.
YouTube briefly to see if there are any other last questions that we didn't get through. But otherwise, have a great Thursday evening, and we will see you again next week. How do you sign off, Ben? You and Starla have such a good flow going.
It's mainly Starla. Yeah,
Oh,
she's good at all this. We're just passengers. But yeah, thanks guys, and yeah, we'll see